Hello people, today we're going to be popping the ram clamps out to get them cleaned up. They get dirty and then it causes your will cause your ram to jam. First thing I want to point out is we're going to be taking this machine past its limits by removing this. So you want to be careful, because whenever you take a machine beyond its limits, you don't know what can happen. In our case, the machine could flip. So I've taken a few precautions by adding lead weight on here and cranking the table out, because we're going to be the first step I'm going to do is move the ram this way. So I move the table out to counterbalance it. It seems all right. I don't know. Most of your weight's in the middle when you're going back. When you're going forward, when it looks kind of scary. But we're going to be taking it back first, because that's the hardest way to get the clamp out. So anyways, the first thing I did when I got this is, of course, freed the ram up by spraying WD-40 in this crack, up in this hole, up under here, and just kept working it back and forth. Well, actually, the first thing I did is I had to make a handle for it, because the handle was busted. So I wasn't able to move the ram with the little bolt that they had stuck in there. So I made a handle. I was going to buy one, but I had noticed when I was looking at these on for sale, used ones for sale, that a lot of them had this handle busted. So I took it as the handle's too weak because the ram's setting for a long time, getting stuck. So they threw a ratchet handle, or not a ratchet handle, they threw a whole ratchet away at work, a Paramount ratchet actually. So I got to thinking, I was there looking at that, I was like, you know what, that would be the perfect thing to make the handle out for this thing, because I've never busted a ratchet handle. I've stripped the gears out of them. I've busted the 1/2-inch drives off of them, the 3/8 drives off of them, the 1/4-inch drives off of them, but I've never just blatantly broke the handle. And as you see, it worked out pretty good. This is actually the handle end here, and the ratchet end would have been over here. Well, I was able to use that flare where the grip was to make everything blend together. But anyways, made that. Sprayed it down with WD-40 and just kept working it. And of course the rusty oil was running out of here, the dirty oil. And I just, would work it for a while and then run it clear out and wipe all this down. Spray it down with WD-40 again, and then do the other end, and then work it some more, and just kept doing that till I got it pretty darn clean. You can see here where the way actually is. It's still not perfect, but it works good now. So I think we're pretty good with that. And right now I'm just in the process of mechanically getting it working good before one day I'll paint it all up. But I want to go over everything first, and I've already went through the head and actually use it for a while and make sure I got all the bugs worked out of it, and then I'll fix it up. And right now I'm working on one of the bugs, and that's the ram jamming. So, of course, the first thing you want to do is get your strap ready. Get your ratchet strap. And what you're going to want to do is you're going to run this clear back as far as it'll go. All right, let me go ahead and show you what jams on this, because it just did it. What happens is this clamp up in there, the way it works is the right side has a threaded hole, the left side does not. When you tighten your clamp bolt, it spreads them apart and wedges them against the outside. So and you can see when you're moving it, if it gets tight, if you move it, you'll see that clamp. See how it's wiggling? Well, it's touching the outside and getting stuck. There it freed up now. And I can simulate it by tightening the clamp. There it's stuck again because I tightened that clamp. If that's got dirt in between in that crack, see, once you clamp it, that crack opens up. Well, then chips can get in there and then it won't let it unclamp. Also, you want to make sure that the sides here are free from varnish and dents. So you might have to foul and hone it. Because what will happen is chips will get in there too. And then of course you clamp it, and once you clamp it, you'll put little chip dents in it. And you can actually see some. Now, you're not going to see them on the camera, but believe me, they're in there. You see a little curly cube dents, and it'll make a high spot. So you're going to want to hone that all off. But anyways, to get that out, you want to loosen your clamps up. Take this to its furthest point. So it would be right there. Then you're going to want to take this screw out. Then you want to take and stick it somewhere where you won't lose it. You might forget where it's at, but you know it's not lost. That makes sense. Then you want to pull your handle out, get it free. Now we're able to take our strap and take and run it in. Before you run it in though, in this direction, you got to have everything at 90. If you don't have your head at 90, see the way this here and then sticks up where your worm gear is, it does the same thing on the underside, and it'll actually hit that clamp and won't let it come out. Because I'd already made that mistake. Because the first thing I did is I cranked that back, and then I realized that you can't do that. You have to draw the ram back first, and then you can crank this back. So I think we got everything ready here. I'm gonna have to set you fellas down here so I can feed the strap into that ratchet strap. I got to hold it with my left hand, and we're gonna be cranking this back until it touches or almost touches here. So basically, as far as you can get it. Make sure your strap isn't over across anything that you can bend. So you can see it moves pretty easy. I've already had them out and cleaned them. I'm just showing you fellas how to do it now. That's good enough. Now that we got that out, now we can come over here and loosen our bolts, which I think they're probably already loosened. And then we can crank our angle. Do that here, and that's down. We want to go up. You can see that clamp getting freed up now. Make sure our strap is good. I'm gonna have to loosen that strap to drop it back down. That should be good. Now, we can undo this. And we can pop this out. And I just took it over to my, I got like a laundry sink down here that I use to wash parts off in. And that's all I did. I just squirted real hot water in this crack here. And spray 9 cleaner, which is pretty good for cutting grease. Degreaser would work. Carburetor cleaner would be best. You could stick, because it's high pressure, you know, it seems like it's high pressure. You could stick your little straw down that crack and really get it cleaned out. But main thing, get this crack cleaned out, get all the way around here cleaned out. And now it'll relax shut and not snag no more. You get that done, simply stick it back in. Well, while you have this thing out extra far, I recommend doing what I did, and that's I meticulously cleaned each one of these gear grooves out, because now you can get to the whole thing. You'll be able to get from here over, and then when you go the other way, you'll be able to get the rest. If you try to clean them out without taking it beyond its limits, there'll be a little section right in the middle that you can't get. Now you can actually get that section, which is right in here. Anyways, put your clamp back in. Start your screw in, because it's a lot easier to do now once you get it in that groove. And what you're going to have to do once you start bringing this thing in is you're going to have to make sure, well, not make sure, you're going to have to toy with this a little bit to get it to line back up to where it'll hit your slot. So in other words, you'll be cranking your strap back over and then it'll just stop. It's because it hit here. And you might have to actually move it back a little bit and move this back and forth just a little bit. But it kind of wants to relax in one spot, which I think it seems like it'll go in right there. But anyways, you got your clamp back. You got your bolt started. You want to tilt this back down to 0 because you won't be able to pull your ram back out if not. Because now you can see that that little nub sticking down from where they got the casting higher for your worm gear. Back in there. See, it'll hit it on the way out. So you gotta have it. You gotta put it back at 90. So we'll put it back at 90, and then we'll be ready to go. Make sure my strap didn't move. Get across anything that'll bend. Still right where it needs to be. Snagged on the bolt head. And there we go. Probably back to 90. Yep. Or 0, however you want to look at it. So now we are ready to move our strap. Tighten that so I don't forget. Now we can reposition our strap, which should be probably hook it to here and then down into here and pull it back in, and we'll be able to get this re-engaged. Re-engage this and then crank it all the way out the other way. Take your table and move it in for safety. And once you reach the limit on this, once again pull this out, and then you'll be drawing that out. And the back one's really easy because there's nothing, you don't have to worry about tilting anything. But you'll simply get this surface here to somewhere in here, and then you'll be able to take and pull your clamp right out here. And clean it out, put it back together, put all your bolts back, snug everything down, and you're done. It's not really that big of a deal. I mean, 12 minutes, and I did all this yapping and showed you guys how to get the first one out. So, yeah, it's not that hard. I've seen some people talking about removing the ram, and I was like, I couldn't find anything really about these clamps other than taking the whole ram out. And I'm like, well, you really don't need to take the ram out just to do that. I mean, eventually I'm going to. When I finally go to paint it up, I'm going to be pulling it all apart probably. But for now, if you just need to repair, if you've got chips jammed in there and you don't want to tear your whole ram out, just do that. I mean, my God, I'd say 20 minutes and you'll have the whole job done. Assuming that it's not through so tight you can't hardly move it. You're going to have to free that up first. Once you get that freed up, then you can get them clamps out. But anyways, thanks for watching, and I hope this helps you fellas get the machine in sooner. Thanks for watching.